I've decided on something. I'm going to show you my conkers. This might not be my greatest idea doing this, at least doing it here. I'm sat under a horse chestnut tree, or as we used to say in the good old days of our youth, a conker tree. In here is nature's most wondrous seed. They are falling down inside of me. So now, by this time, you'll be praying that one lands right on my head. But just look at that. The most fantastically coloured seed there is. These provided years ago, if you lived in the 1970s, they provided you with hours of entertainment. And if you'd got a pocket full of conkers when you got to school on a morning, you had quite a lot of friends who also had the conkers in the pockets every day at school. That was in the good old days before health and safety became over the top and unnecessary. The days of conker fights where people had a 39er or a 22 or usually a 1 or a 2, because they usually smashed to smithereens after one fight. If you got 3 conker fights out of the same conker, you were doing well. And of course everyone had their own magical sort of method to improve the durability of these, none of which worked. Vinegar, soaking them in vinegar was one, and then roasting them or something daft. In the end, if you got a conker that won 3 or 4 matches, you were pretty lucky. But these are just beautiful. And now I'm being approached by a squirrel. I hope he's not after my conkers. The colour of these things is just a joy. And I still get a kick even now out of picking these up off the floor, and in fact I can't resist it. I pick one up every year, at least one up every year, and stick it in a drawer at home. And then it gets thrown out when I have a clear out. But I just can't resist picking one of these up. They don't smell. They're beautifully smooth. It's such a fabulous chestnut colour. Of course, conker trees, yeah, are horse chestnuts, which is Aesculus hippocastaneum, if you want it in posh money. But to us youngsters of the 70s and 1960s, and I suppose even the early part of the 1980s, these were called conker trees. And I'm sure the longer I stay here, one's going to land plump on top of my head. Mind you, I've got a hard head, so it'll need to be a really special conker to do anything to my head. They were close. But, say, I could talk about these all day, but I won't. So I like to two people are walking a dog past me, thinking, what on earth is he doing? But I'm used to that. They'll probably just say, he's probably trying out a plot in the cemetery. Because this tree in Retford Cemetery, God, what would we had given for one of these trees, or this tree, when we were kids. And certainly what would we have given for this and lots of these off this tree when we were kids. There'd have been a good market for these at primary school. They're coming down to the rate of knots. So, without further ado, bearing in mind health and safety and all that, I'd best get up off the floor. And I'll take my conkers with me.